Hello friends, this is Rudra Astrology, and this is one of the first videos which we are sharing in our series of knowledge base. Uh, we'll be creating a series of videos explaining effects of each and every planet in the ascendant or the first house, and the very first video is regarding Saturn in the first house or lagna. So let's begin with this series. Saturn in the first house or ascendant or lagna house of Patrika. So we'll first discuss what is first house. So first house is the very number one house or the ascendant house of the Patrika, which is on very top of the chart, and it has special indications regarding a person, which are as below. So first house indicates physique, complexion, appearance of the person, how everyone looks at him, how his identity is being personified, how well built up he is, his height, his health, uh, how much fat he will gain, how much thin he might be, and all those things. Uh, a good position of the ascendant lord or a good planet in the first house also decides how many hurdles you will have in life, how less hurdles you will have in life, how much pleasurable life you will have, luxurious life you will have, the nature of the person, because the first house also decides the nature, the thinking pattern in the head going on, everything is also being decided by the first house. That's why the first house also decides nature of the person. So what we are going to discuss is Saturn in the first house. Saturn is a very strong planet. It's a planet of justice. That's why we have decided to start with the Saturn in the first house. Saturn has very specific characteristics which we are going to discuss. And before discussing Saturn, let's recite Gayatri Mantra to gain positive energy. So the Gayatri Mantra is as follows: Om Bhurvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Characteristics of Saturn. Saturn is also known as planet of karma. He decides what karma you have done, what judgment and everything will be passed by Saturn only for a person. He will decide the karma which you have done, is it good or bad. He will do justice with it. And uh, Saturn is a planet who always does justice. He never chooses another path. He will always go for justice. Either you are a good person or bad person in this life. If in past life you have done some bad karma, he will bring judgment to you. That's why he's also a dry in nature, because he's very direct and he inflicts his judgment without any bifurcation. And Saturn temperament is also called windy. His Aquarius sign and signs are also comes under the windy nature. Saturn creates delay and tests patience. So what Saturn does is, when wherever it sits, it will create some sort of delay and it tests your patience. So in the first house for the person, uh, because it's his own identity, own place, so person will have some sort of insecurities initially. He will have to fight through those insecurities and complexes so that he can gain confidence. Saturn will test a lot of patience for him. He will have to do a lot of hard work, and Saturn will create delays in bringing in the fruits. And the period when Saturn is transiting through the moon sign is called Sadesati. This is a 7.5 year period. That's why it's called Sadesati, where Saturn affects your moon sign in different ways. Now, effects of Saturn in the first house. This position actually signifies there is a karmic debt to self. There is a growth which you have to do regarding self, uh, which Saturn is signifying in this life, in the current life, according to its position. Saturn will test your patience. It will generate delays in getting results. You will have to do a lot of hard work, and sometimes you will not be paid back full regarding your hard work. Person has weak body if no other aspect, so if no other benefic planet is expecting this first house, then person might have a very lean, thin and weak body, and the constitution will be weak. Person might have some diseases also if there is no other aspect over there. But because Saturn is a planet of judgment, those characteristics will be there in the person will be morally strong. He will always choose the path of truth, and he will try others try to make others to follow the path of moral and justice also. Perception of person is serious. What happens is, because of the Saturn's judgmental character, like bringing justice and karmic debt and everything, the person goes through so many experiences that he becomes very serious and mature very early in life. The perception, the other people see him as a very serious person also. And person may miss some good opportunities because Saturn is a very slow planet. Sometimes person with this position, having Saturn in the first house, sometimes miss some good positions. He might delay some good decisions, and because of that he will miss some good opportunities. What will be the positive aspects of Saturn in the first house? So things achieved via hard work will remain for a longer time or be more fruitful. So what happens is, whatever Saturn gives, he will give after some test, some hard work and maturity and practical understanding. That's why person will be able to keep all the fruits and everything he got in life for a longer period of time, because he has to do a lot of hard work and wait for those things. So he will respect those achievements and protect them as much as possible. Person will get slow and steady growth. There will be no sudden growth or no sudden fall. There will be slow and steady growth. There will be some lessons in life, the person will learn them and grow to another level. Then again there will be some another lessons, and then once the person understands those lessons, he will grow to another level of his journey. So he will keep on growing, he will keep on learning. Easier to get along with other customs and foreign languages. So in basic Kundli, Kal Purush Kundli, Saturn is Lord of 10th house and 11th house. So because of this, the person is keen in understanding and is able to understand foreign languages and customs also. He will be able to mingle with people from distant places as well as distant religions or customs also. The self-confidence earned via hard work because of the Saturn's first house position. The test the person will go through will create so much self-confidence that he will be later on be able to lead uh, a big group of people or his family further. uh, Saturn in first house makes a person self-made. He will try to do all of his stuff by himself. He will try to achieve his goals by himself. He will be very ambitious, and because of all of these he will be very confident, and he will have self courage. He will be able to generate self courage whenever it's needed. He will be able to protect people around him. Now, aspects of Saturn. So Saturn basically has three aspects. From wherever it sits, it will aspect third house, the seventh house and 10th house. So we will discuss each and every aspect of Saturn first house position. So third house aspect. As when Saturn aspects third house is basically house of courage, house of hands, house of younger siblings, the siblings which a person has. So the relationship will with the siblings will be very critical. He will if he sees something wrong, the person will criticize and try to encourage the person to do the rightful and morally strong thing. Sometimes because third house is also a house of communication, the way the person uses his communication. So when Saturn is expecting this house, sometimes it takes some time for the person to learn how to communicate fluently or in proper manner with the mass or with big crowd also. Uh, Things related to third aspect are generally not that helpful to the person or will not give full results. So generally wherever Saturn is expecting with its third aspect, the person is not that happy with that house things like siblings and everything. He might not be uh, either getting total support, or he might not be happy whatever results are coming from that house. Then seventh aspect of Saturn. So when Saturn is sitting in the first house, it's expecting the seventh house of partnership and relationships. So generally there are delays in partnership. A person has to be very careful in doing all the relationships or partnership, even in business or as well as with person. So relationships are generally critical. The person having first house Saturn will generally be very critical. He would want the person in relationship to be very morally, philosophically strong and with a strong character also, and always do rightful things. These all are the characteristics of actually Saturn, and when the Saturn is present in the first house, all of these characteristics of Saturn are coming into the person himself. There may be a karmic relationship with the person. So what happens is, the relationship which comes, there might be a past bond with that person. There might be some sort of karma or debt still there from the past life, which the both of the persons will have to go through in the current life. There might be delay in marriage until a mature or practical aspect of relationship is not understood. So when Saturn is expecting the seventh house, it might give you relationships or marriage with delay, because Saturn will give you everything related to that house where it's expecting only when you have a practical view of that house things, as well as you are mature enough to handle those things. So only then you will be able to enjoy fruits of that house. So that's why relationships or marriage generally comes later in life, generally after 28, 29, or even sometimes when Saturn is very strong, around 35 to 36. Now, 10th aspect of Saturn. When Saturn is expecting 10th house is actually house of karma, house of profession. When from first house, 10th house is expected, which means person's karma is directed towards his profession. So what happens is, Saturn 10th aspect is related to the karma. So when the 10th house, house of karma and profession, has been expected, the person's whole direction is towards ambitions, goals, doing all his duties, doing all his work in the profession and fulfilling his duties in the profession. Person's life direction may revolve around the work and profession. Goals are being set based on the duties he has to do, and sometimes this brings in, because 10th house is house of father also, some sort of critical relationship with father also, or any high authority figure in the house also. So this was the uh, video and explanation for Saturn in the first house. Hope this helps you guys, and I will be looking forward to making more videos and sharing with you all. Thank you.